Welcome back to Reptastic Adventures. Now, as you know, I am a big animal lover, not just the turtle and tortoise guy, which I do a lot of videos on because they are my true passion. I have lots of different types of reptiles. I have red-sided garter snakes. I have northern pine snakes. I have Argus monitors, red-eyed armored skinks. I mean, I could go on. I got a lot of different reptiles. But some of you may have seen in a previous reel, maybe on Instagram, I have a new friend that I want to introduce to you. This is an enclosure that I had peacocks in. It is no longer a peacock enclosure. Now, I have actually enclosed it with clear vinyl, which is used on boats. And the reason why I did that was to keep the heat in. Now, the animal that's in here is from Central America, and it needs to be in warmer climates. So I have a heating source. I might have to put a heater in. I am going to go in there and I'm going to show you a close-up. Hopefully I can get her to come out. It is a young female kinkajou, and she is maybe about 3 months old. She should be in this box right here. They're nocturnal, so she kind of hides in there. But as you can see, I got a camera here. I got locks, and I'm going to make sure I take all the steps necessary to make sure this animal's happy. I got weather stripping going around here, and lots of hides and things and places for this animal to climb on. Sometimes she goes up there in the top, but glad she's not in here today, or up there today rather. She'll go in here in hotter days and just kind of chill out there. But in here, there's a blanket, and I guess it keeps her a little bit warmer. It's actually not that bad out. It's like, I think it's gonna be in the mid to high 70s today. But in the spring of next year, we're gonna take this side off so we can have some airflow coming in. Right now, it's not really crazy temperatures, and we're going into the fall and, of course, winter. So I want to make sure that I'm prepared. Right now, it is 86 degrees in here, so it is a little warm. Outside, it might be 72 tops. But I got some heating sources here. I have a ceramic bulb. I have a 250-watt heat bulb, and I have a UVB, which I will probably swap out at some point with another 250-watt heat bulb. But this box is actually insulated with fiberglass insulation all the way around, 4 inches on the bottom as well. The top is the only one that doesn't have the insulation, but that's okay because the heating source is going to be right above it. There's also going to be a heating mat. Okay, now getting this little girl out, she's actually somewhat friendly. At least when I come out and feed her, she eats right out of my hand. Oh, there she is. She hears me. What? You smell a banana? You gonna come up and have a little bit of banana, are you? Come on, you gotta come out. Yeah, I know. You gotta say hi to everybody. Look at how adorable this young 3-month-old, 4-month-old kinkajou is. Hello. She's just the cutest little mammal. Look at that. Going to town. She eats right out of my hand. I'm trying to train her to get on my shoulder and just kind of sit there so like I can, go places with her. I got to get her a leash because they are good climbers, but they're relatively behaved, and they're usually cranky during the day, honestly, but when you have a banana or you have food, she seems to be a little bit more receptive and calmer. She kind of looks like a baby Yoda. But bananas are her favorite, and I can pretty much get her to come out and at any time during the day, even though they're nocturnal, by offering her a banana. She actually has a 5-inch long tongue, which is insane. They are also called honey bears, and I guess they use that long tongue to get the honey in the wild. But yeah, they're from Central America down into Mexico and the northern parts of South America. They have these cute little fingers, almost like a primate, but they're not. They have a prehensile tail, kind of like a primate as well, but they are not. They're considered more related to raccoons. But I've always wanted one, and you're kind of limited to what you can and cannot have in certain states. Look at her how just she's mowing down this banana. It's already halfway gone, more than halfway gone. You gonna say hi to everybody at least? Give them a wave. Huh? No? You're just zoned in on your banana. Now, as soon as she's done this banana, I bet money she's going to go right back down in the box. She's going to be like, all right, nothing left. That's all I need here. And she's going to go right back down into the box. But I do know other people that have kinkajous in my state of New Jersey and have actually kept them outside year-round in a enclosure somewhat like this. I think I took maybe a little bit more precaution for the temperatures. I've insulated this box. I got a heating pad that goes on the bottom in there, and then I'm also like siliconing and using weather stripping and stuff like that where all their cracks and crevices are to try and prevent any kind of draft if possible, even around the door, so we can make sure it's nice and toasty in here. So my goal here is if it's 10 degrees outside, that it's at least 50 in here at the minimum. And then, but that's rare. That's really rare. Hello. So she has a name. Her name is Maybelline, and she's one of my new favorite animals. I'm hoping to get more. I would like to try and breed these guys. They're pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, this enclosure is pretty large, so I would think that we could have a good family of like 3 or 4 in here easy, no problem. This box is pretty big. They can definitely go into that tunnel as well, but you just got to have a lot of suitable climbing areas. Look, I'm all done. I'm all done. We can eat the skin? You probably would. You want to get down in there and get that last little bite, huh? So you're not going to be as hungry tonight, so I'll feed you a little bit less maybe. But she will appreciate some back scratches. Sometimes she'll give you kisses. She's trying to eat the skin. You're crazy. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys my new addition here at Reptastic Adventures. And I'm looking forward to, breeding these and just spending time with them and getting to know this girl. I'm kind of trying to train her. I'm going to try and train her to sit on my shoulder and be calmer. She's gotten a lot better. When I first got her, she was a little rambunctious, and I think it was from the flight because she went from airport to airport, which is what you have to do with mammals. And I think she was just stressed out. So the first maybe a couple days she was a little rough. What are you doing? Turn around. Oh, she's going to climb. There she goes. This is her bamboo stick right here. She likes to roam back and forth in peace. All right, so that's enough from the kinkajou enclosure. But I also want to show you one more thing before we go, and that is, I know it's talked, I think about it in another video before, these 2 other pens that we just built, and they are almost done. Got to still do a few more plants. In here we have some Dalmatian Herman's tortoises that I put in here. Got the greenhouses set up, got some plants, got some Rose of Sharon, some hardy hibiscus, some grasses, and some logs for them to go in. But look, here's a Dalmatian Herman's tortoise. This is a small male. Well, they're all relatively small. They're smaller than the Eastern Herman's tortoise. And they are very favorable in the reptile industry for people that are into tortoises because they stay small. Herman's tortoises don't get that large, especially the Dalmatian. So a lot of people really focus on the smaller tortoises because they're easy to take care of. When people have larger numbers like me, it doesn't even matter. We got different sheds and buildings and all sorts of things for the bigger guys. But this is a young male. There are 4 females in this enclosure. Now, I just brought these over here because I wanted to kind of start like a second or a third group. I have them divided in groups. They tend to do better when they are in smaller groups, egg production wise. Now over here, I also have, which I just saw one walking around when we walked up to the kinkajou enclosure, but quickly hid. Man, the food's gone. I wonder if it went into my greenhouse or under here. Had to have gone into the greenhouse. Let's see if I can change this. Yep, here we go. We got 3 of them in here. Walk around. Now, this is the Rhinoclemys mani, also known as the Central American wood turtle. It's got some pretty cool color. And these turtles are known to be in tropical areas, but I do know somebody that couldn't find one in their enclosure. They thought it disappeared, and they were going to bring it in for the winter, and they couldn't find it, and it actually ended up brumating underneath the waterfall. It survived the winter because the next spring it was walking around the enclosure. He sent me pictures and videos of the enclosure and the turtles just to so I could properly identify the turtle and make sure that that's what it was. So now we are experimenting with these 3 in this greenhouse, which is going to be a little bit safer because it's going to be a little bit warmer versus underneath a waterfall of a pond. So hopefully these 3 will make it through the winter. They're going to be barricaded in, not going to be able to come out. And after that point, we'll reassess, analyze, and kind of determine whether or not we're going to move the entire group outside next year. So I'm going to put this guy back down. We got 1 male, 2 females in there. And I'm just going to hope that things go well. This is a pretty good sized greenhouse. It's going to be, again, blocked up right here in the front where the door is, so nothing can go in or out. I got some duct tape over here. This is to kind of protect any drafts in the cracks and crevices of the panels. So yeah, but that's something we hope for. So we'll see what happens, and I'll let everybody know how that goes in the spring of 2026. We are just about done here, but if you guys got any questions or want to make any comments, feel free to do so. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do that as well. And that's it from Reptastic Adventures, and we'll see you guys in the next video.